Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone is feeling good. I hope we're all in a good headspace. Welcome back to another episode of EmpowerHer podcast with London in London. And today we have a very special guest. Go ahead and introduce her, London.
Hey guys, so today we have my oldest, Miss Anna.
Hey guys.
She's also our cousin, one of our favorite cousins, and I'm excited about her being here with us today. So we're going to talk about a little bit of everything, because honestly, London and I were sitting here trying to figure it out, and we didn't know. So we said we were just going to just freestyle it this time around and figure out how it works and take it from there.
Yes, there's just so much that's been going on, so many different topics that we could choose from. And, sometimes it's just hard to pick one because life just happens and it's just so much. So we got a lot to unpack on this episode. So thank you for tuning in. We hope you caught our last episode about protecting your peace. That was one of my favorite episodes that we've done so far. I think it was a really important topic, and I took some things away from it. I hope y'all, the listeners, took something away from it as well. So thanks for tuning in today. So let's start it off. I guess we will start with the main thing that's been circling around, the main thing that everyone has been talking about, the main things that's been triggering people, getting, it got me there. It definitely got me there. This Roe versus Wade.
Here we go. It's just ghetto. It's a lot. It's just like, if they can overturn Roe versus Wade, what else can they overturn?
That's like the biggest thing. And my sister actually said that something that's been in place, just go back on it. It just tells you what else can they do? What else can they go back on? What else are they anticipating on going back on that we don't know just yet? It's completely disrespectful, in my opinion. And I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. And it's funny because I was having a discussion with some friends of mine, and I don't like to classify myself as a Christian. I don't like to classify myself as religious. I call myself a child of God because that's who I follow. And yes, in the Bible it says that, we are not to have abortions and things like that. And of course, they say that the Bible frowns on it, that that's what women are here for, to reproduce and yada, yada, yada. But I'm also a realist. I'm also a human being. I also know that even if that's something that my religion doesn't, it frowns upon, never would I tell another woman that that's something that she can't do with her body, because there it's a case by case thing. There are so many different circumstances that fall into this, that play into this, that wouldn't apply to every woman. So for that reason, religion, it just shouldn't even be a thing. This is not something that we should think about religion when we're thinking about women's choices with their bodies and what they want to do with a pregnancy should they get to that point.
Girl, I want to be a little bit, I like to play devil's advocate sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard this online. I'm just curious to know your take on it. So let's see if it comes up.
Right? Republican Congresswoman Mary Miller sparked outrage over her comments at a Trump rally in Illinois over the weekend.
President Trump, on behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for white life in the Supreme Court yesterday.
Victory for white life. You heard it. I heard it. We all heard it.
So now, before we move forward, right, it says here, at a rally with former President Trump on Saturday, Republican Rep. Mary Miller of Illinois applauded the Supreme Court decision overturning Roe versus Wade, saying it was a historic victory for white life. in the Supreme Court. Her campaign immediately responded saying it was an error, and she meant to say a historic victory for right to life by the Supreme Court.
Right. You know what? It's almost it makes you laugh because it's so blatant. It's so face, and we know exactly what you meant. You know exactly what you meant. It's literally a slap in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, she meant what she said. And when you really think about it, the whole them trying to control population control, Black population control, makes sense, because who is really going to be affected by these laws when these states say abortion is illegal? Is it going to be Miss Little Privileged white Karen, whose mommy and daddy can go send her off somewhere to, pay thousands of dollars for her to get her abortion? Or is it going to be that minority that does not have the money and now has to go get an unsafe abortion? Because abortion isn't going to go anywhere. They still
isn't. And it's just setting us back. That's why it brings me back to my original question, where it's like, if they can overturn Roe versus Wade, what else can they overturn? And that just puts like minorities and people like at just such a high risk, especially because we don't have the same privileges as everyone else, especially because we aren't afforded the same type of education, the know-hows as everyone else, because we do have to work harder than anyone else. So it's like, even if they say, okay, well, just try to educate your child and, talk about safe sex and abstaining from sex or whatever the case is. And I feel like at our big age, we should know those things, but things happen, right? And so when those things happen, or if we're like, let's talk about those kids that just don't know what they don't know, right? Where the parents aren't educating them on safe sex and things of that nature, or where they aren't afforded the proper education and they're going looking for love in the wrong places. And then boom, now, unfortunately, this happens and this child ends up pregnant. Then what?
Right.
Or what about, God forbid, the kid or whoever it is? Because I literally just read something on Instagram. I wish I would have saved it. It was empowering. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to find it. But it was this woman who overcame everything that she went through growing up, and she has 4 kids, and the 4 kids that she has, guess who they're by?
Tell me.
Her father.
Oh, wow.
Her father. And she talks about healing and how, she broke free from that situation, and she started talking about the things that she experienced growing up, and the abuse and the sexual violence and things of that nature. So it's like, are you saying that you would force somebody to have kids in a situation like that?
Right. Exactly. And that's why it's just so ridiculous. Like, it's literally, and all this, I'm pro-life. Just shut up. Like, just shut up. If you are pro-life, if you believe that if you were to get, pregnant right now, that you must have that baby, then that's you. But there is no reason to reflect that on every single woman in the United States. Say that every single woman's situation is the same, because it's not. And
and then like they can control our bodies. It's like already, especially as Black women, we already have our own struggles with like creating a space for ourselves now as it is. So not only do we now have to struggle with creating a space for ourselves, but we also have to struggle with our own bodies, like making decisions for our body. And I don't feel like anybody should make a decision on what we do with our body. It's our body. If this person chooses to do whatever, then that's what that person chooses to do. But I don't feel like anybody should tell us what to do with our own bodies. We got enough of that going on in our lives as minorities, with them telling us what we need to do with our life.
Right. And then the fact that it's old white men making these decisions for us is really what's pissed off.
That part.
That's really pissing me off. And I came across this post, and I'm gonna give credit to who wrote it, and hopefully this person is actually the person that wrote it, because you know how social media is. But just the word itself really resonated with me. Monte Hawkins, you're pro-life until your wife is told by the doctor that her pregnancy is non-viable. Her baby has no kidneys or a brain and will most likely die before birth. Under the law, she cannot remove that fetus, even if it's a stillborn, and your wife is now forced to follow through with that delivery. So you get to watch, as her husband or her boyfriend, whoever, you get to watch the fallout of her having to tell family, friends, co-workers, everyone over and over, what's going to happen when they ask, oh, when are you due? You're pro-life until the doctor tells you that your wife will most likely die if the pregnancy is brought to term along with the baby. So now your future, your soulmate, your everything is going to disappear in less than 1 short year, and nobody can help you. 2 more things. You're pro-life until your wife has a partial miscarriage and the doctors refuse to move the rest of the fetus, citing this new abortion law. And now your wife dies of septic and you get to arrange her funeral. You're pro-life until your daughter is raped and you're forced to watch her suffer through her pregnancy, only to have her die in a failed attempt to abort the baby at home. Like, wake up, y'all. Wake up. This law does nothing but hurt. This law does nothing but subject women to danger, because like I said, abortion is not going to go anywhere. Safe abortions is now going to be illegal, but they're still going to go find ways to go get it and ultimately possibly die in the process, you know? But like I said, meanwhile, little Karen can go have her safe abortion somewhere else because she has the privilege, she has the resources to do that. But these other minority women do not. So it's just, it really pisses me off even talking about it. Like, and then like you said, if we can go this long and all of a sudden we can overturn Roe versus Wade, what's next?
What's next?
What's next?
Like, seriously, what's next? Because we're just, again, we going backwards. History is repeating itself. Like, this is one thing my father always said: history repeats itself. And history is seriously repeating itself. And like, at some point, we, and as people, we have to come together and we have to decide what's next. Like, we have to stop waiting for everyone else to tell us what's next, or they're going to continue to tell us what's next.
Right.
Somebody has to step up and say, okay, no, you know, this is what I'm going to do for my people. Because I can talk until I'm blue in the face. Somebody else can talk until they're blue in the face. We can have the celebrities go up there and talk because they have the platform. But then who is going to step up and say, okay, this is what's next. This is what we need to do. And this is how we're going to help our people.
Right.
I don't know. That's why I'm just so big on women empowerment and just getting women together, and just, even if it's just by conversation, just talking, even if it's just going over things that we talk about here in this podcast, just getting things out there, because really you just don't know what you don't know. And I feel like if we talk about it enough and we make people more aware or help bring more awareness to certain situations, bring light to certain situations, then we can just help in that way, and then really just start figuring out what's next for us. Because letting them figure it out here, you see what they did. They done overturned Roe versus Wade. That's what's next.
Right. Look, y'all asking what's next. It's Mars for me.
Okay, because it's so ghetto here.
Girl and my husband, we're gonna go ahead and fly up out of here to Mars and what's popping up there. We're gonna see what's popping over there, because this ain't it where we at. This ain't it at all. The land of the free where? I'm over it. I'm over it.
Well, let's take a brief pause really quick and just listen to this next commercial. And we're going to come back and we're going to have something else to talk to you guys about and just continue to unpack.
Ladies, we have an amazing community for women just like you. EmpowerHer Network. A community created to empower women. Join us at community.discoverment.com.
Don't need to beg, steal, or borrow. Watch me as I walk this way.
All right, everybody, we are back. Hope you enjoyed that little commercial break. We started off talking about Roe versus Wade, the overturning of that, and just all the nonsense that comes with it. And now we're gonna kind of switch gears and start talking about another topic. I'm gonna hand the mic over to London, who's going to kind of talk with our guest today, Anna.
Hey
And
everyone.
yes, we're so happy that you're with us today. So London, go ahead and take over from here.
Hey guys, so our next topic is something that I'm sure affected all of us at some point in our lives, whether it was with a family member, a close friend, or even yourself. And you guys know how we somehow end up talking about trauma all the time. We go back to it because it affects us and shows up in so many different aspects of our lives. So Anna decided to join us today, and I'm very grateful that she decided to join us today because it takes a lot of courage to talk about your own struggles and your own personal struggles, especially with addiction. And so, what I would love to talk about and love to hear from Anna is how it has affected her, her own struggles with addiction, where it stems from, to where she believes it could have possibly stemmed from. And then, just kind of dive into what she's doing now and how she's managing going forward. So, for Anna, I'd love to know, where is your mind right now, presently?
Presently, I just attended my first support group session and it felt good. So that's what's really on my mind right now. Staying focused always. Moving forward.
What felt good about your group?
Talking. And it's a no judgment space. It's just women. It's a group of women, and we speak about everything. Today we touched on grief. Tomorrow makes 3 years of someone's death that was close to me, and we spoke on that. Touched a lot of topics.
I'm just gonna jump in, and because I can't say that I've personally struggled with addiction. I mean, we've all been addicted to something, but and like London said, we've all had addiction affect our lives in some kind of way. And I've commend you, Anna, for taking the steps that you're taking, because a lot of times people fall into addiction just because they feel like they don't have anyone to talk to. They don't have anyone to unpack the trauma and things that they've gone through. So they find another outlet. And I'm glad that you found a space where you can talk and you can unpack. And what's big for me is the no judgment, because that's the last thing that you want, is for someone to be judging you or somebody to be talking, like you're
Giving you the
unpacking.
side eye, yeah.
Yeah, like you telling them all your deep darkest secrets, and they like, oh, for real, oh, like, just judging you. That makes you want to bottle up and just go back to whatever it was that was helping you escape from it in the first place. And then a big thing that you said was just moving forward. When London asked you where you kind of are right now, just in a place of moving forward, and that's so important, because a lot of times we stay stagnant and we stay in we're the issues that we're in. And I think it's really big that you are in a space where you are moving forward.
Yeah, I honestly think that that's really what it's all about. You can't stay stuck in the same place forever.
Yeah,
Insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome. It's not going to work. And
right.
for some time, I started, I would say I officially, like, I've been smoking weed for a few years now, but I officially started getting high in 2019. Um, I got addicted to Percocets, and it took a turn for the worse recently. It definitely took a turn for the worse. Started losing a lot, you know?
Yeah, I can imagine. And you're just the fact that you're here, Anna, and the fact that you're speaking on this shows how strong and how brave you really are. Because there are things that I've gone through that I still am like, I can't talk about that. Like like it takes a really strong, brave person to really sit there and own their shit. Like for real, for real. So I just want you to know how proud I am of you for being here today.
Absolutely.
And for that you're taking. It's super brave of you.
Thank you guys for being so supportive, honestly.
Of
I really
course.
owe it to you guys. London, you do the most. You know, I love you the most. This is a very fragile time, and family definitely helps.
We got a baby on the line. I see
Empowering Her featuring Asim.
right? Asim wants to join our show.
So for those of you who do not know, Asim is Anna's son. He is how old, Anna? Because I want to say he's about 2 right now, but
He'll
mom's
be
got
2
the
in
18
September.
months,
He'll be 2
19
in
months,
September. I
36
say he
months.
won. He'll be 2 in September. I ain't doing all that. I don't know how many months he is. It's too much counting.
He said, I ain't doing all that. He gonna be 2 in September, and you do the math, whatever that means.
Now I have a question, and I know each of us on this line here we've all been affected by addiction in one way, shape, form, fashion. And Anna, you've been on both sides, whereas you've been affected by it based on your own use, of course, and then also affected by it through the things that you've experienced in your life. And so I'm always curious to know, because honestly, for me, and as much as I've been surrounded by people with addiction, there are only like really a selected few that I can say that I've spoken to, and they can tell me, the root cause of where it all stemmed from. And then, I guess kind of like their coping mechanisms to keep them straight. And I know for me to stay away from certain things, I just looked at how it affected, my own parents or whatever, because I'm surrounded by it. So I want to know for you how it's affected you first, based off of like what you were affected by, and then the latter part.
Okay, so both of my parents suffer from addiction. They struggle with addiction. My apologies. And I always felt like they chose the drug life over me, you know. Neither parent was really involved as I was growing up. It's like they went their own way, you know. Um, Personally, dealing with it and how it's affecting my family, or how it's affected my family. I really think it all just stems from trauma. It stems from the loneliness. It stems from the overthinking, the anxiety. Is just overthinking, pain, everything. That's what I chose to how to cope with, because I didn't have access to the resources that I needed growing up, or even now, because I was so secluded. I cut everyone off. I went into a shell, and that was my way of dealing with it, or even escaping from it.
What was going through your head during those times when you would seclude yourself from your family members and things?
On one hand, I felt lonely. I felt alone, but then on the other, it was a way of protecting her because I knew what I was doing was wrong. But at the time, it's what was right. I felt what was right for me. And it was getting me through what I was going through because I didn't want my family affected by
it. And so now you guys know I love playing devil's advocate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you see how you secluded yourself in that situation, and you have, your children, you have your family, and you secluded yourself during those times. How do you think your parents coped during the times that they were struggling and knowing that they were doing something wrong?
They probably felt the same, honestly. And being on both sides of it is just, I don't want that for my kids. I don't want that for my family in general because it hurts. I'm a little messed up in the head. I'm a little far gone, but it's never too far gone to get it together.
Hello.
All about what matters.
I love that you said that. It's never too late to turn back, Anna.
It isn't. It isn't. And that's good that you have that mindset. And then I just also, again, still playing devil's advocate. I think it's a beautiful thing that you were able to pull yourself out of it. But I also would want to know, can you find forgiveness in yourself first, and then also with your parents, in knowing how hard it is to struggle with whether it's a mental illness, whether it's a drug addiction, which ends up being a mental illness, like generational trauma, just a whole slew of things. And what I love to say is, like, just some people don't know what they don't know, right? And perhaps they weren't provided with the resources or a person or a pamphlet, whatever it is, to get the help they needed back then. So can you find forgiveness first in yourself and then in your parents?
That's something I'm working on right now. It's not easy. For one, forgiving my parents for everything that took place, everything that's affected me from their actions. It's hard to forgive them. But I know in order to move forward, I have to let the past go. I can't keep holding on to it. And how I've chosen to deal with that is just separating myself from them. I don't speak with my mom or my dad. And it may not be right all the time, but in a sense, I feel like I'm protecting myself. So, yeah.
I love that you said that, because I remember earlier when we were talking, we were trying to figure out how we were going to talk about mother wounds and then healing from mother wounds. And I said to London, I said, we'll talk about something else, and then it'll just come up where we can kind of all tie it into one big old synopsis or whatever. And I say that because it's like we all talk about how we're affected by our fathers not being present, but nobody really talks about how our mothers affect us by not being present or by being present or whatever it is, whether it's in our interpersonal relationships, our intimate relationships, just in general. And so with that, how can you say, like, can you give us an example of where you feel like the relationship you had with your mom, or lack thereof, drove you to make certain decisions in your life?
I can say honestly that I don't know how to be a mother. I have 2 kids and I'm still trying to figure it out.
I'm not trying to be funny, but I don't even, me either, girl. Don't come with a pamphlet. Nobody knows how to be a mother. Trust me. It just happens. You're not the only one. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
But in some sense, we should all have that figure to guide us as women. We have to have someone. We're kids. We need someone to look up to. We need somebody that, oh, when I grow up, I want to do this. I see my mom doing it. My mom is such a strong woman. My mom is so driven. My mom is this. My mom is that. When you're unable to say that, or you can't sit there and describe your mom as a role model, it'll affect you. Like that's something you really do take personal. Like I said, I don't really know how to be a mom to my kids. And like you said, there's really no pamphlet for it, but we should have that some sort of figure in our life because otherwise we're just a lost cause.
I agree. I definitely agree. And I'm glad that we like kind of, like you said, it kind of came full circle, Ashley, and came back around to this mother wound thing, because I think that there is a lack of awareness around mommy issues, and kind of we're always talking about daddy issues and women having daddy issues, and nobody really discusses how these mother wounds or mommy issues affect us women, in our everyday lives, in our relationships, when we step into motherhood. Um, and just speaking personally for myself, Anna, I agree with you, and I kind of resonate with the things you were saying about forgiveness and letting things go in order to move forward. Like I want to tell myself that I forgive, but I don't forget, and I think that's really key for me. Like, but then again, I feel like I'm lying to myself. I haven't forgiven. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
Or how
and
about instead of saying, because maybe that's too much pressure. So instead of saying you forgive someone, why not just start with accepting the person as they are or accepting the situation as it is? Because the truth is, it's nothing that you can do to change that situation, right? It is what
right.
it is, for real. And not to say it is what it is in a way where it's like, I'm brushing it off and
That's the reality of
throwing
it.
it under the rug, or even being a realist in that sense. It just truly is what it is, and that's something that we cannot control. So we can start by just first accepting the situation as it is and accepting the person as it is, because at the end of the day, everybody has their own story, and we don't know what their story is or how they chose to deal with it or how they were shown how to give love or whatever it is that they've gone through in their life. And unfortunately, it's affecting us because, now that's,
Everything is taught.
but the beauty in it all, and that's why I like to say there's always a lesson behind it, because we're aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, not many people are.
We're aware of how they affected us. We know what it's done to us. We know what we don't want our children to go through. So yeah, no, we don't know how to be a parent, because I be wanting to like look for the receipt for my kids every single day. I don't know where I put it, but seriously. But at the end of the day, although I wasn't shown how to be a mother, I was shown how not to be a mother.
Ding, ding, ding. And I was just about London, like, definitely. I just recently got to this point in my life with the age that I'm at, where I'm learning to accept people for who they are, including my own family, and accept the ways that they've hurt me and the lessons that they've taught me. And the biggest lesson that I can get out of it is, being shown how not to be, being shown how not to behave towards, my own children that, I'm blessed to have on the way right now. And it took a long time to get there, because it hurts. It's like you accept it, but it still hurts. And especially ongoing, and it's like, okay, like, I already know who you are. I know what to expect. But then, boom, you do something and it's like, damn. I mean, it still hurts. I should have seen it coming, but damn. There's just another lesson learned, another, you just showing me another thing that I shouldn't do, that I would never do. So like you said, you kind of have to spin it off that way and just think there's a lesson in everything, no matter how much it hurts. You're still being taught something, even if it's being taught what not to do.
Definitely.
That's a fact. And I mean,
It's
even
really,
with that, go ahead, boo. Finish.
sorry. It's really, even like you said, no matter what, it's still a lesson that was taught. Growing up, you're supposed to have a figure that you're learning from. That's how you hit your stepping stone, like your stepping stones. You learn how to be domestic from your mom. You learn how to clean. You learn how to stay in routine. If you're not shown that, then you don't know what you're doing. If you're not told to take a shower 3 times a day, you're not told to brush your teeth 3 times a day, even something as minute as that, it's still a learned behavior.
Definitely. Definitely. I don't know. It's always touchy to talk about these things, and I think that we're all being very brave at the moment.
Definitely.
This. But I agree. Everything is learned, everything is taught, and I think that I'm blessed to have certain people in my life that I can learn from and can learn, how to be instead of how not to be. And but at the same time, like you said, not everybody has that. So for some people, if it's not mommy, it's nobody. And then it's like,
Personally, sorry.
oh no, go
See,
ahead.
I'm 25, and I feel like I was just speaking on this earlier. I'm 25, and I feel like now I'm appreciating and acknowledging and accepting who really is my mom, the woman who did step up and fulfilled that role. Honestly speaking, she took me in when I was 12, and I've learned everything from her since. Unfortunately, at the time, like I said, I didn't appreciate it. I didn't acknowledge it. So now I'm at the place in my life where I'm paying more attention to little stuff. I'm taking heed to the lessons that were taught to me.
Yeah. And it takes time. It definitely
does. And I don't think there's any set time to really get it. I think it's, well, hold
I
on.
ain't trying to be 50 and
I was
still
about to
doing it.
say, it's no set time. When you get it right, it's better late than never. But as I told Anna personally, you're at a crossroad in your life now where it either is or it isn't. And it's like you either wanted to get it together, or you want to be stuck in the infinite loop, where you just so tired that you just can't be tired no more because you're just so tired. And nobody wants to get to that space in life where you so tired, you just tired. So it's like
You gotta
that's
choose
why
something better.
it's and that's and not for nothing, it's hard. And then even London, to go back to what you were saying when it comes to being hurt and accepting someone how they as who they are, that's something I'm even struggling with too, because I think Anna, you and I were talking about it earlier when I was just like, just certain individuals in my life where I feel like the situation, I'll just say it, my mother and my father, they treated me for so, however it is that they treated me, whether it was in the midst of the addiction, coming out of the addiction and things like that. And I was so busy focusing on healing from my childhood trauma, not even realizing that I'm still going through traumatic experiences as an adult too.
hello.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like now, okay, I'm still thinking I'm all but hurt about things that happened when I was a kid, a baby, or a child or whatever. And here I am, a whole grown behind woman, and I'm struggling with boundaries. I'm struggling with cutting people off. I'm struggling with certain patterns of behavior that I know is no good for me. And then realizing my father just told me not to call him no more. My mother just told me she was going to flush me down the toilet or whatever the case is back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it's like, well, why wouldn't I accept certain behavior from certain people? And then I've really found myself thinking like, okay, well, maybe I need to heal some more. So I'm going back. Ain't nothing else there. It's still traumatic experience in the present moment. So now in the present moment, what do you do, London? Now, I would love to hear this from you. In the present moment, when you're still being traumatized by this person, do you feel it would be best, and I'm talking about our parents now, to cut them off for our own sanity and love them with a long hand spoon, and I'm going to speak to you maybe once a month because you're messing with my mental and my peace and because you continue to traumatize me? Or do you continue to take in that trauma, and now that's like also questioning your boundaries?
Yes. And that's exactly what I was gonna say. And my father has said this to me numerous times. And he says, regardless of who it is, at this point you're not a child anymore. You don't necessarily need, or I'll speak for myself, I don't necessarily need anything from my parents except love, and I'm either going to get that or I'm not. I'm either going to get the respect or I'm not. So, he told me that as an adult, I now have the power to choose how involved I am with this person, regardless if it's mommy, daddy, sister, brother, whoever. I have the authority to choose that. So, of course, it's easier to say this lady or this man has done me wrong so many times. I'm an adult. I don't need nothing from you. I'm cutting you out. I'm shutting you off, whatever. But at the same time, and especially me being a follower of Christ, we're taught to respect your mother, respect your father, regardless, even no matter how dirty they do you, you still gotta love them. And, I can accept that. I still love you, even if I have to love you from a distance, I can still love you. I can still say, I love you or whatever, but
You gotta limit the expectations and
yes,
set your boundaries.
there it is. And that's exactly what he told me. He said, you have to set your expectations to who this person is, who this person has shown you to be, and put those boundaries in place. And it was a time when I was, I knew not to expect this from this person, but I would still ask just to kind of see what happens. And then every time I get let down, and then I go cry about it, and I feel some type of way. And then it's like, we said on the I think our past episode, London, I cannot blame this person anymore. I can't be mad at this person anymore because they've already shown me who they are. So whose fault is it really that I'm hurt right now? It's my fault because I keep allowing them to hurt me. I keep, setting my expectations here, knowing damn well it needs to be down here.
Or you shouldn't have expectations at all, to be honest, because we're human. And really to have that type of expectation of anybody that you can't control is beyond me.
Exactly.
Focus on the things that you can control, and what you can
Actions
control
over
is
words.
yourself. So and it's not even, and I hate to hear that word too sometimes, actions over words, because sometimes a person is in a situation where they're taught to act a certain way, and your expectations of what their actions should be just don't coincide with each other. So you need to be very clear on what it is that you want from a person, what it is that you expect from yourself, your non-negotiables, and that's in any and every relationship. And then take it from there. And if that person doesn't fall in alignment with what it is that you want, then you move on respectfully, right, and without being bitter and stuff, because then that also comes back again to being acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Acceptance and just being present in that moment, So
Yeah. And we talked about that on the last episode when I was talking about homegirl. Kind of caught me in my tracks, and you was like, "But can you really be mad at her, or should you be mad at yourself because you the one that's not putting those boundaries in place?" And for friends and family, and like you said, we have to protect ourselves, especially as adults now. We're not children anymore. We're not living under our parents' roofs anymore. Like, we have the right to protect our own peace, protect our own mental state, and
sanity at this point.
Yeah, for real, Anna.
For
Seriously.
Real.
And then again, y'all know I love to play devil's advocate, because yes, in the Bible it does say honor that mother and that father, but then in one of them chapters in Ephesians, I believe it also says don't antagonize the child.
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
Let me find it. Let me look it up.
Oh, I'll find it for you, girl.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna find it. But no, I'm sure it does. Like, it goes both ways. But if you see that, somebody is not honoring you, it's kind of like, why should I honor you back? Like, and the thing is, I can honor you for a certain extent, to a certain extent. And like I said, I can love you from afar. If that's what we need to do, that's what we're going to do. Because that's going to protect my peace, my sanity. And I have the right, as an adult, as a human being, to protect my peace and to protect my sanity, regardless of who you are, family or not, mommy or not, daddy or not. I'm going to protect myself. And I am now, with me bringing a child into this world, I'm going to protect myself and my child and the type of family that I want to have. I'm not going to, let
You're in
you
control.
Yeah, it's going to be, yeah. I'm not going to let you control that and control my emotions and control how I'm feeling. And I'm coming home to my husband with this whining about what's going on with you. Like, no, that's done. We're not doing that. So I have the right to love you from a distance. I have the right to protect myself, my sanity, and my family.
Absolutely, I agree, and I think that was just like a perfect statement. And Anna, I just want to thank you again for joining us and just speaking so candidly about your I won't even call it struggles. I want to call your most recent experience.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a learning experience. You're learning from it. You're growing from it. And like I always tell you, you're just such an amazing person.
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. You've always been extremely smart. And I just know you are going to do amazingly great things, even though you get on my nerves a lot. But it's okay because we
get
love
on each
you.
other's nerves.
Girl, I know I get on everybody's nerves in my house, and that's okay. You see acceptance. I've
Here she
accepted.
I love how confident she is about it. I know I get on people's nerves.
I know I do. And then I just want to close out with this for Anna. How old are you again?
I'm 25.
She is 25 years old. And I know here in New Jersey, just in listening to her and then listening to her friends and seeing it myself, a lot of young teens and a lot of young adults are struggling with addiction or someone with addiction. And so what's next for you and what is your advice?
What's next for me is I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what's next. That's what I'm trying to figure out now. But the advice that I'll give to anyone struggling with addiction, anyone struggling with the trauma that they've embraced, keep pushing. Like try. You can do it. You got this. You'll get it together. It's no end to healing. It's a constant thing. As long as you're aware and you acknowledge where you've gone wrong and you better yourself, you got this.
Thank you, Anna.
No problem. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Of course.
Hopefully I'll be back soon.
Oh, yes.
And I'm gonna chime in too before we sign off. And again, just tell you how much I commend you, Anna, for being here and for your bravery and speaking your piece and speaking about this. And I truly believe that your story and what you're going through and your healing process is going to help and maybe even save someone else. Definitely. And I'm just so happy that there are resources out there to help, whether it be a program, a friend, a family member, and I'm glad that you are utilizing those resources. And I hope you know truly just how much you're loved, truly how much your family really does care about you, even if they're not always there. Speaking for myself, I know that it's been a while since we've reconnected, and I'm so happy that we are reconnected. And I just want you to know how much I do love you and I care about you, and I'm here for you, whenever you need me. And, last thing, I just really, really like what you said about how healing is ongoing, like it doesn't stop. And healing also means taking responsibility for the role that you play in your own suffering. And I think that you're really doing that. And I commend you for that.
Thank you so much. And I love you more. I'm happy we reconnected as well. Family is everything.
Absolutely. Agreed.
Aw. Yeah, I know you're emotional. I'm going to let you go ahead and close out, London.
Yes. So we want to thank everyone again for joining us today. Getting ready to close out another episode of Empower Her podcast. We hope you guys really enjoyed this one. We unpacked a lot. So if anyone has any comments, anything to share, if you want to jump in and share your own experience or what you're going through, or, how, you never know if your story is going to help somebody else. So please hit us up. We're on YouTube, whether you comment under our video or reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram. We'll be sure to drop all those links in. We'll make sure we put them all in the video, put them all under. You'll be able to access us. So contact us if you want to reach out. If you ever want to join the show, let us know your thoughts. Again, thank you for joining us, and we will see you on the next episode of Empower. Bye.
Bye, guys.